All right, everybody, how are we doing? I am back for another video. Yes, it's been a couple days, but just wanted to get you guys up to date. If you don't know who I am, my name is Aziz, and I was formerly a restaurant manager, but I'm now just taking you guys through my experience and my journey of not only acquiring a new job, but also everything that I'm learning and just continuing my journey of personal growth and just growing throughout my life as I am still 25 years old. I'm still learning and still growing, so just want to document my journey and use this as a way to not only look back because I know I'm destined for greatness, so I want to be able to look back at these moments and know how I was messing up as a younger man, but also to help anybody else who's maybe going through a similar situation. So today was definitely a very successful day. As you can see, I'm looking all dressed up because I had 2 interviews today. I have 6 scheduled throughout the week, but I had 2 already. I had the first one in the morning on Zoom for an account manager, and that was more of a sales type of role. I would be a customer rep type of person for AT&T, so I would be in the stores trying to promote and or sell AT&T customer service. But unfortunately, I've seen those types of jobs and I don't really like that, so I don't think that's something I'm going to go for. But then later on, I went out and I had a interview at Chili's. For all those who live in the North American region, if you live in New York particularly, you've been to Chili's, or just in general, I'm sure they have other locations in several other states. But I went to Chili's today to interview for a manager position, something that I have experience in as I have restaurant manager experience in my background, and I just came from being a restaurant manager. So glad I was able to interview for that, and hopefully praying to God I get that job, because not only will that be similar to what I was already doing, but it's going to be more money, so that's a bonus. And I'm definitely using this time that I'm not working as a time to reflect on not only what I did to myself, but what I need to do for myself once I start working again. I really do understand how me putting myself in this position was honestly just very dumb. I let the fact that I had certain feelings and didn't understand how to navigate that, while also dealing with the struggles that I have when it came to women, force me, not really force me, but allow me to make a emotional decision when I was in a position that I shouldn't have done that. And seeing how it's affected me and set me back a little bit, I'm definitely more frustrated in myself that I allowed that to happen. But it's allowing me to not only see that I should have been more grateful for the job that I have, and I should have been smarter with the job that I had, because now that I'm not making that money that I make, I'm seeing how I really do miss that, and that's the one thing that I do care about when it comes to working. I do love helping other people, but I love making good money. So me not making good money at the time is definitely something that's bothering me, but I understand that it's my fault, so I'm taking that into account. On top of that, it's also showing me that if I do want to continue with the goals that I have and the aspirations that I have for myself personally and be successful, I need to put myself in a position where I don't really have any excuse to not do what I'm supposed to be doing. So that's why I'm continuing to make these YouTube videos now that I have the time. I have been slacking, I'll be honest. It's been a couple days since I made my last video. But I'm going to make sure that I continue to progress and I continue to do what I need to do to get myself where I want to be, because I know that I have a lot of things that I can do. I'm destined for greatness, so I just need to continuously put in that effort in order to get those results that I personally want for myself. So it's always important that I remind myself what I can do when I put in the hard work, when I genuinely put in effort. So that's why I'm continuing to make these YouTube videos, and I'm going to not only get better, but always show everybody a good example of what you can do when you put your effort and when you put in hard work towards the goals that you have. So for anybody who's still struggling and trying to understand where they want to go, I think the best thing for you to do is just to really take a moment, be by yourself, understand what you like to do, understand what you're good at, understand what you're willing to do, and then move in a direction where you can let those things guide you in a field that suits you. I understand not everybody wants to work forever, but at the same time, we all need to work, because nothing is free in life, and you need to put yourself in a position where you don't have to rely on anybody but yourself for the most part to take care of yourself, because as I've now been out of work, yes, I have family, but I'm starting to see that for the most part, nobody can really help me. So me losing my job was definitely a big dunderhead move and a very dumb move, because now I'm putting myself in a position where I don't have any resources to even help myself. But thankfully, this past Friday, I was also able to get my last check. Not even Friday, it was actually Saturday. So I'm using that to not only pay off all the expenses that I have, mainly just purchases that I've bought over time, because at least for me, my Achilles heel and what I like to do with the money that I was making was to buy certain knickknacks and or nice things that I liked. But I use the Affirm payment plan, if you're familiar with that, because I shop on the Shop app, Shopify. So I used payment plans a lot for that. Every 2 weeks, you pay some. But realistically, that was definitely very dumb, because I definitely, as I'm looking at the purchases, made a lot of purchases that I did not need. But at the same time, now that I'm not working, I see how those payments were piling up at one point. But now that I did have some money, I took care of majority of that, so I'm just worried about paying those off. The only real bills that I have is my phone bill, my car insurance bill, my car bill, and any minor subscriptions that I have, such as CapCut for recording. I do use Spotify because I love music, and I have 2 gym memberships, so I do have to pay for those. But for the most part, I don't have a crazy amount of expenses besides me also just buying food. But when it comes to me getting a new job, I've understood that one thing I did wrong with my previous job was spending recklessly and buying things that were unnecessary. So I'm focused on not buying. I'm just paying off the things that I've already bought, while also at the same time making sure the goals that I have, which is clearing all my debt, my biggest debt being the car that I have, I pay that off within the next 6 months, because I have the potential to do so. I just need to make sure that I'm very diligent and focused when it comes to the paychecks that I get, and I'm not wasting them. I've been more focused on buying groceries, so I'm going to make sure that I'm doing that, because I still have my fitness goals. I've been seeing myself grow up in weight, but at the same time, I do have a particular weight I want to get to, so I need to make sure that I'm doing what I need to in order to reach those goals. That's why I'm telling you guys and reminding you that one thing you need to continuously do is work on your physique, work on yourself, and always self-improve. Because if you're someone like me who struggled with women or wants to have a certain lifestyle, you need to put yourself in that position to earn that lifestyle. And in order to do so, you will be not only competent in yourself, but you will be confident in the skills that you have. But you have to not only work on yourself, but you have to develop the mindset that's going to propel you to be the person that you're going to be. You need to embody yourself as that person before you get there. And one of the best ways to embody yourself as that person is to build your body up, literally. And by doing so, you not only gain the confidence because you know you look good, but that translates into other areas because you've done something that's very hard, which is changing your own personal look and or physique. So you know that you have the confidence in order to tackle other challenges in other areas because you've already completed a hard task. So that background and that effort that you've put in will not only mentally give you the confidence, you won't have to fear doing new things because you've already done something new and you know how successful you were when it came to doing that. So that's why I'm one of those people who likes to preach going to the gym and preach fitness, because it's helped me with my confidence. Yes, I still lack in certain ways, but I also know that has to do with doing the tasks that will get you to where you want to be. So that's why I'm more focused on doing the tasks and also understanding myself. One of the big mistakes that I made was just making emotional decisions. And that's not only something that I did that got me fired, but it's been a problem that I've had that's caused certain issues within my life. So now that I'm more self-aware and understanding how big a problem it was for me to just be making emotional decisions, especially as a man, I can now work on combating that by taking my time, being more calm, and understanding myself and what needs to be done. Because I'm not somebody who just acts out or acts rambunctiously. I'm very logical and I can definitely put reason and thought to why I'm doing certain things, but that doesn't justify why I do those certain things, because I still need to be self-aware, mature, and understanding enough that if I'm in a certain position, regardless of how I feel and what I want to do, I'm not supposed to do certain things because there are rules in place. And that's something that I also know that needs to be taken into account with the next job that I get. I'm not allowed to do things because I'm in a position where I have to act a certain way. So doing all these things, going through this time apart from working, also applying to jobs now, it's also giving me the time to not only understand myself and also understand what I need to do in order to better prepare myself for the next job that I have, while also conducting myself in the best light. So for anybody who's still struggling getting a job, you can do it. You just need to continuously put in the work and the effort. I can definitely say putting in applications and filling out all these resumes and all these different online assessments and or questionnaires is definitely grueling, but at the same time, if it's something that you want, if you know you want to change your perspective, if you know you want to change where you're currently working, you have to be willing to put in that work. And now that I'm not working and I know I want to make more money because I have bills to pay, it's lighting a fire under me. So I'm making sure to do all those things while also continuing to do the things that I want to do, which is creating content and learning trading. Because at the end of the day, I'm somebody who doesn't want to work a job for the rest of my life. But I also know in order to get myself even close to not working, I have to start by working. So I'm not somebody who's too prideful to not do the things that will get me to where I want to be. So regardless of if I have to get it out the mud, if I have to start from ground zero, I will do so because I know I'll get to the top in no time. So for anybody who's still struggling like me, you can do it. I believe in you. You just need to constantly be remembering your whys. Remember why you're doing what you're doing. Remember what happened to you and why you don't want to be in that position or feel those same feelings again, and let that motivate you. So if you have any questions, drop a comment. If you have any questions for me, drop a comment. I'll get back to you. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, and be sure to not only check out my previous videos, but send this video to anybody who you know it's going to help and or motivate. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next video.